A fixed interval, or an FI schedule of reinforcement, works similarly to an FR schedule, whereas that whatever we require for reinforcement to be administered is fixed. With an interval, instead of being responses, it's going to be amount of time. The first response after that time has elapsed will result in reinforcement. So what we have here, an FI 1 minute, means after reinforcement, we will wait 1 minute. After that 1 minute has elapsed, the next behavior will be consequated with reinforcement. So we might have an FI of 1 minute, and after that 1 minute elapses, the organism does not respond for 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, a behavior occurs, boom, reinforcement. So on this, it's the first response after the time. All behaviors during the time are not consequated. They are measured when we look at the cumulative record, but you'll never see a tick mark in there because reinforcement does not occur. It only occurs, again, after that first response after the interval has lapsed. When looking at an FI schedule of reinforcement on a cumulative record, what you're going to see here is a scallop forming pattern, where as time goes, there's going to be a post-reinforcement pause, and then there's going to be high responding prior to reinforcement occurring. That is, prior to the interval elapsing. So you get no behavior, no behavior, no behavior, high rates of behavior, followed by reinforcement, and then another post-reinforcement pause, just like we would see in the FR schedule. When behavior is likely to happen again is when it gets close to that interval elapsing. So what we have here, again, a post-reinforcement pause. After reinforcement is delivered, reinforcement has not occurred again. It's only after some time has elapsed, reinforcement has occurred again. A matching law is a great way to describe how behaviors will be allocated under certain environmental conditions. Thinking about matching law, to maximize reinforcement and minimizing response effort, responding as close as you can to the temporal locus of reinforcement is the way to maximize reinforcement. So if it's at the end of every 10 minutes, you would see high rates of behaviors occurring right before that interval elapse. The only real life application or example that I have was when my grandma was in the hospital. She was very sick. It was towards the end of her time, and she had a morphine drip that she could control by clicking a button, and it was set on a 10-minute fixed interval schedule. And we were sitting in the hospital room and used to click, 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 click. And we all kind of looked around, not really sure what the click was. My grandma couldn't even tell you what the click was. She was the one making the clicks. And it was her just pushing the button over and over again to get morphine. So it happened again, and it seemed to be very rhythmic, happening on some kind of fixed schedule. So what my dad was just set a timer, and he goes, the next time we hear the clicks, I'll stop my timer. And then over this, we found out about every 10 minutes, we would hear the clicks. And it was looking, and eventually we put it together and found out it was my grandma. When it got close to that 10 minutes, without her knowing it's 10 minutes or anything of that, the automaticity of reinforcement, boom, kicked in. And click, 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 click. My dad goes, Ma, you're the one that's making the clicks. Oh, I guess it is me. She was not aware, could not tact that she was making those clicking. But if you put her responding behavior of clicking the morphine administer, you would see that it looks like a scallop. She would get the morphine, you'd hear it, ah, and then she wouldn't do anything for a little while. She would not engage in that clicking behavior. When it started getting close to the end of the 10 minutes, click, 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 click. As soon as the 10 minutes expired, the first click, boom, reinforcement, ah, and then it would go, and then that cycle just continued until eventually we tried to alleviate the amount of strain and things like that on my grandma. So we just set a 10-minute timer, and every 10 minutes we'd say, hey, morphine's available, click, it's over. So that's FI schedules and the best real-world example I can describe.